What if one city held the secrets of three empires and quietly shaped the world we live in today? Welcome to Istanbul, a place that once ruled as the capital of the Roman, Byzantine and Ottoman empires. Three different worlds, one city. And yet most people don't know its full story. Istanbul is not just about old buildings and famous mosques. It's a city of power, faith, conflict and survival. Its streets hold memories of emperors, sultans and revolutions. Every corner hides a piece of history that changed everything. Imagine this: the giant dome of the Hagia Sophia, once a church, then a mosque, then a museum, now echoes with both Christian chants and Islamic prayers. Look out over the Bosphorus Strait, where ancient ships once sailed, and today modern cruise liners glide past Byzantine ruins. Istanbul is where East meets West, and where the past walks side by side with the present. But Istanbul's beauty didn't come without pain. This city has faced invasions, fires, earthquakes and betrayals. Armies tried to take it, leaders tried to change it. Yet Istanbul stayed, standing strong, always transforming, never truly falling. You don't need to be a historian to feel its pull. Whether you love to travel, enjoy great stories, or just want to understand the world better, Istanbul's story is also your story. Because so much of what shaped our modern world started right here. And over the next few minutes, you'll travel through the city's most pivotal moments, from Constantine the Great to Suleiman the Magnificent, from Roman roads to Ottoman palaces. You'll see how this one city became a bridge between worlds, and why its past still matters today. This isn't just a history lesson. This is a journey through power, beauty, faith, and survival. Istanbul isn't a memory, it's alive. Long before it was called Istanbul, this city had a different name, Byzantium. It was founded around 660 BCE by Greek colonists, people who sailed across the sea looking for new land, trade, and hope. At that time, Byzantium was just a small city, built on a hill where Europe meets Asia. But even then, it had something powerful: location. Sitting at the edge of the Bosphorus Strait, it controlled the waters that connected the Black Sea to the Mediterranean. That made it important, not just to the Greeks, but to anyone who wanted power in the ancient world. Imagine walking through its narrow streets in those early days. Traders arrived by boat, carrying spices from the east, wine from the west, and scrolls filled with new ideas. The air smelled of sea salt and smoke. You would hear many languages, Greek, Persian and others, all mixing together. Byzantium was small, but it was already a crossroads of cultures. But life there wasn't easy. The city faced raids, famines and political struggles. It had to fight to survive, and yet it did, again and again. Its leaders believed they were building something bigger, something made to last. One symbol from that time still lives on today: the crescent moon and star. Long before Islam made it famous, Byzantium had already carved it onto coins and flags. It was a sign of the city's strength and mystery. Then came the Romans. By the 2nd and 3rd centuries CE, the Roman Empire saw Byzantium not as a small outpost, but as a key to future rule. The empire was changing. The old capital, Rome, was growing weaker. The East was rising. So when Emperor Constantine looked for a place to build a new Rome, he chose Byzantium. It had the sea, it had strong walls, and most importantly, it had a future. But before Constantine could rebuild it, Byzantium had to prove itself once more, surviving sieges, fires, and the push and pull of empires. It stood strong, waiting for the moment that would change everything. So how does a small Greek city become the center of an empire? That transformation is next. It begins when Constantine gives the city a new name and a whole new destiny. In the year 330 AD, everything changed. Roman Emperor Constantine looked to the east and chose a rising city for his greatest dream. He renamed Byzantium to Constantinople, calling it the New Rome. From that moment on, it wasn't just a city. It was the new center of a vast and changing empire. But Constantinople wasn't built overnight. Constantine poured his wealth, vision, and faith into it. And he wasn't just building a capital. He was building a beacon for Christianity. With churches, forums, and palaces, the city became the heart of Christian belief, shining with power and purpose. One building stood above the rest, the Hagia Sophia. When it was first completed in 537 AD, under Emperor Justinian, it was the largest cathedral in the world and would stay that way for nearly 1,000 years. Imagine stepping inside its massive dome, with light pouring through golden mosaics and the sound of chants echoing in the air. It was more than a church. It was a symbol of heaven on earth. From the Golden Horn, emperors ruled over a city filled with art, trade, and knowledge. Constantinople sat between East and West, blending Roman strength with Greek wisdom and Christian faith. Merchants came from Asia, scholars from Africa, pilgrims from Europe. Everyone wanted a piece of what this city had become. But greatness always invites danger. Over the centuries, Constantinople faced wave after wave of attack. The Persians, the Arabs, and even the Crusaders all tried to take the city. Each time, the people of Constantinople stood behind their mighty walls and fought back. One wall, known as the Theodosian Wall, stood for nearly 1,000 years, protecting the city from almost every invasion. Still, with every battle, the city was tested. As the Western Roman Empire fell into chaos, Constantinople held strong. It became the last light of the old Roman world, the only place where Roman law, language, and legacy continued. But would it last forever? Despite its strength, the city was slowly surrounded. New powers rose, enemies grew stronger, and within the Hagia Sophia's shadow, the fear of falling never fully left. And so we ask, how did the capital of Christianity become the crown jewel of the Islamic world? The answer lies in the next great empire to take the city, by sword, by vision, and by destiny. In 1453, the unthinkable happened. The mighty Theodosian walls, which had held off enemies for centuries, were finally breached. Sultan Mehmed II, just 21 years old, led the charge, and with his victory, the Byzantine Empire fell, ending one chapter of history and starting another. But Mehmed didn't come to erase Constantinople. He came to transform it. He renamed the city Istanbul and made it the new capital of the Ottoman Empire, a Muslim empire that would last over 600 years. It wasn't just a military win. It was a cultural shift that echoed across the world. But the question remained, how would this city keep growing, adapting, and inspiring through centuries of change? Because the next chapter wouldn't be written by emperors or sultans, but by revolution, resilience, and reinvention. After World War I, the once mighty Ottoman Empire crumbled. Foreign troops marched through Istanbul's ancient gates, and for the first time in centuries, the city wasn't the seat of an empire, it was an occupied relic. The Allied powers controlled its ports and streets, casting a long shadow over the mosques and minarets. The city that had once ruled continents now watched history unfold from the sidelines. But out of that silence, a leader rose. In 1923, Mustafa Kemal Ataturk declared the Republic of Turkey. A modern secular state was born, and in a bold move, the new capital was placed not in Istanbul, but Ankara, a city deep in the country's heart. For Istanbul, it was a profound shift. Imagine a city that had once ruled Rome and Mecca, suddenly not even governing its own nation. Yet Istanbul didn't shrink, it evolved. It became a melting pot of the old and new. Call to prayer echoed beside jazz clubs. Palaces stood next to apartment blocks. Western ideals brushed against Ottoman elegance. And the tension was real. How do you honor a city's imperial soul while embracing a secular, democratic future? So today, the question remains, is Istanbul just a relic of past glory, or the most vital city of the future? In 2025, Istanbul pulses with over 15 million lives, stretched across 2 continents and thousands of years. It's not a museum, it's a living, roaring organism. Horns blare beside prayer calls, digital ads glow near crumbling aqueducts. This is a city where Roman ruins host tram lines, Byzantine churches shadow TikTok shoots, and Ottoman arches shelter artisan cafes. It's also a tech and tourism titan, a political fault line, and a safe haven, or pressure valve, for migrants from Syria to Ukraine. But beneath the buzz lies a bigger question. Can Istanbul hold its identity while chasing progress? Urban sprawl threatens its skyline. Sea levels inch toward its shores, and ideological rifts still split dinner tables, yet still, it endures. Istanbul isn't just history, it's evolution in real time. From Byzantium to Constantinople to today, it has worn many names but never lost its soul. Empires may fall, but this city reinvents. This is what timeless truly means. And now that you've seen its 1,000 lives, ask yourself, what city still shapes the future after shaping the past? In a world racing forward, Istanbul stands as proof that true greatness takes centuries to build. Its story isn't trapped in books. It walks the streets, breathes in the markets, and echoes in every stone. If this journey moved you, hit subscribe for more untold legends, and tell us, what part of Istanbul's soul struck you most?